YouTube, Mark Kaufman here, and today I'm going to be talking about a very unique knife. But first I want to cover two other knives that kind of fit into the class of the knife I'm about to present. So the first one is the Buck 704. Okay, so that is the Buck 704, and that is a single blade knife that has only one blade. Has I believe it's 420 HC steel. This is before the Paul Boss heat treat. This one is from the 80s. Then the other one is the Buck 703. And this here is actually, and you know what? I should have done this before starting the video, but this is actually a three-bladed Stockman, okay? And each blade actually has its own independent spring, which is very, very interesting. Buck seems to like to do that, and you can see how each one of those springs is actuated in the back here. So that may put a little more life in the spring itself. So that is the 703. Now I have another one to show you that I actually was not aware that existed, and that was the 705. And this is, well, I would essentially call this a pen knife or an equal end pen knife, and it just has these two blades, a smaller coping blade and then a large clip blade. And I have to be upfront on where I actually picked this knife up. I picked this up from Knife Detector. He actually did a video on this knife, and it just didn't fit his needs, and he decided to put it up for sale, and he kindly let people know about it and it being on eBay. And so I actually submitted a bid for this. Then I lost it, but some reason it was relisted, and it was relisted at a buy it now price. And I have to say, Knife Detector, you're very, very reasonable with your prices regarding the knives you're reselling, and he was very fair. He actually sold it for the price he bought it. And I don't know very many guys that do that with their knives. So first off, thank you so much, Knife Detector, for the new addition. And he also sent me a few additional knives. So I will be talking about that one. There's one that I will be talking about. The other one I am going to be doing a few tests with, and I'm going to decide if I'm going to actually review that one or not. So let's get started on this one here. So that is the two other ones here in this kind of series. And I don't think Buck really had a, I don't think they really called this a series. It's kind of just a shared pattern shape, and it kind of looks like a smaller Buck 110. And so we've got this size, and then we have this even smaller size. Now, this knife was a lot smaller than I had actually expected it to be. So we're going to compare it to another small knife that you may be, I guess, aware of, but it is the Buck 375. And I have to say it's about the same size as the 375. So we have the Buck 375 and then the Buck 705. And let me see what else I can compare this to really quick, as I did not really prepare very well for this video. Let's see. So then we also have a medium Stockman from Case, which is right here. So you can see that it is a rather small knife. It's not large, but I will say this, I only bought this primarily to create this three-piece collection. And I don't know how many other models shared this handle set or handle shape. However, I do know that Buck does not currently produce any of these anymore. So these are definitely discontinued. I don't think they're too hard to find, but I think this is definitely a unique one. And what I love is that it is made in the USA. So it is an interesting little knife. I did clean it up. I sat and finished the back spring a little bit, polished the bolsters, and I even polished the scales a little bit, gave those a little bit of a sheen, and I resharpened the blades. Now I will say this is not much of a blade, and after using this single bladed model, I will say the blades do not really last. The 420s HC on these older bucks, I found myself touching them up a lot and not really resharpening, but a lot of stropping. And yes, it requires a little bit of work, but for a knife this size, I don't think you need a high-end or a super steel to make this get through your day and take care of all the tasks you may have. So that is the 705 buck, and I have yet to see, other than his video, of somebody showing off this knife. And I have to say that is the same for these other two. So they may be rare, they may not be rare, but I will say this, it's a wonderful little addition to my collection. So thank you again, Knife Detector, for the super deal, and I hope to do business with you in the future. And until the next video, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.